There is an argument I've been seeing in various forms, usually from the left, though the right's taken it up in a few places too, that goes something like the following. 1. There is an ideal held by society that is impossible. Premise 2. The pursuit of this impossible ideal is unhealthy because it can never be achieved. Premise, or conclusion rather, therefore we should abandon that impossible ideal. I first noticed this argument with the dad bod phenomena, sort of late in 2014 into early 2015. There was a bunch of articles written by various magazines about how it's all the new rage, this body type that guys would have. Leonardo DiCaprio was one of them, and a few others, where you would have, a bit of a beer gut. You look like you went to the gym maybe, once a week, but you would let go a little bit in the evening. And this was the sexy, cool, attractive body type to have. This sort of kind of let go kind of attitude. It's a very weird position to take because guys who have that body type are attractive on the whole, but they're not attractive because of their body type. They're taking what it signals, which is someone who has a balanced life, basically. They're working hard, they're having fun, which is fun to be around people who have fun, but they also maybe kind of sort of work out a little bit. That balance is attractive, but the body type isn't. That person with the dad bod would be more attractive if they looked like, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe not to everybody, but just on the whole. And you see this particularly common with women's body image stuff, where they, attack these ideals as being impossible and unrealistic for women to pursue and unhealthy, and it leads to all these other sorts of health problems. And they've been doing it with guys too, not so much in body types as in the concept of masculinity. Bill Pozzobin and a few other guys on TED Talks have done talks about the unhealthiness of the pursuit of being a man for boys. Premise 1 in this argument, that these ideals are impossible to achieve, is sometimes true, but it's not actually always true. If you look at, for example, Michelangelo's David, just to go back to the dad bod thing, the body type that David has is actually achievable, is eminently achievable for most guys who put in the effort, or something equivalent to that. Arnold Schwarzenegger, no. But if that's your ideal, any effort striving in pursuit of that ideal is going to be healthy for you. Just about. I mean, you don't take steroids or anything. But healthy attempts to pursue the ideal, to move yourself on the continuum from where you are ever closer to that ideal, which may or may not actually be impossible, is going to be a healthy thing. Which brings us to point 2. Yes, there are pathological attempts to pursue this. Bulimia is not good. Steroids are not good. But those pathologies don't come intrinsically from the pursuit of an ideal. They usually come from some sense of insecurity that a self-image built upon the affirmation of other people rather than on achievements has established. It's been built up into you, and as soon as that goes away, then you are frantically searching for validation from this external source. Validation from external sources is good, but it fundamentally comes from achievement and from producing things for other people, not from not just from I don't know, being yourself or whatever they want to say. So the pursuits of the ideal are good, and so the conclusion, based on both premises being, the first one being sometimes wrong, the second one being completely wrong, I think, and the abandonment of those ideals is actually the far less healthy option. The conclusion is wrong But it's worse than just wrong. Because at some level, the preferences we have for people who are attractive, or who are masculine, or who, have a better body than the dad bod, many of these preferences are naturally built into us. We're wired that way. They're biological. For example, the bust hip waist ratio with women, the confident, competent, honorable, honest guy. These things we don't really have much choice over, and if you reject the premises that they are innate, if you reject the idea that these are just social constructs that we've been programmed by society rather than by evolution to think these ways, one, you're not being honest with yourself, because if you dig down, I think most guys will recognize that they would rather have that beautiful hip-waist ratio model woman, all else being equal, than the chubby, plus-size, anti-body shaming feminist as a girlfriend, ceteris paribus. Similarly, the women who advocate that masculinity is outdated and over, they show in reality, despite what they may say in an academic environment, all signs to the contrary. They also prefer guys who are confident, who are assertive, who are relaxed, and who have vision and a mission, not the wishy-washy image of this crying, emotive man that Bill Zobin, for example, puts forward. So, for your own health, you should reject this argument for yourself, and for society's health, you should reject it when other people make it too, because no good can come from people rejecting these ideals with intelligence, with beauty, with health, and with happiness. Don't accept the rejection of ideals. Go for the ideals, even if you're going to fail, because you'll still be better off for it in the end.